I was a black boy in a white world with a young mother who was a white girl. I want you to cram to understand my chocolate and vanilla swirls. No, tiptoe through my ghetto, guns play heavy metal, hip hop, chicks in stiletto, staccato, ghetto jazz. I'm a ghetto Picasso. I paint what little I have until you get the picture. In the ghetto scriptures, ghetto blues, ghetto kids with no shoes, callous feet, callous streets. The hydrant was our beach as ice cream dreams melt in a stream down the street. I never forget those days. See, my daddy played the drums while my mama sang the blues. Her eyes black and blue, how Langston her hues. I wanted to protect her, but every night was the same broken record. Broken record hip hop was my escape. Recording break beats on my double tape so I couldn't hear her bones break. Break dancing on cardboard duct tape to the streets. Before Alicia sang keys in A minor, I'd slang keys in A minor. I ran away as A minor, chasing Class A felonies. About the same time Rakim dropped Check Out My Melody. But check out this felony. In my town, most of our youth aspires to clean toilets at Yale or go to jail. Welcome to New Haven, where freedom's got a price tag called bail. Yo, peace. What's up, everyone? I'm going to cut that one short because we're going to get right into it. I'm feeling good on this Sunday afternoon, and we got a very special guest in the house tonight, this afternoon. I want y'all to show some virtual love for Yex. So Yex, say hi to the people.
Peace, peace, everybody. How y'all doing?
All right, all right. So how you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. A mother's work is never done, so I'm in transition right now between moving my children from a roller skating birthday party back home. So I'm just sitting in the car rocking out with y'all.
Word. Well, we definitely appreciate it. Man, just watching you over the past years, like you have a lot going on. First of all, I've seen you unfold and evolve as this wonderful, poet. I'm not going to say female poet. I'm not going to say, this or that. Just as a poet, and I've been checking some of your I don't know if it's what you refer to it as podcast, but what do you do? Matter of fact, could you just take a moment and for those that don't know you, tell them who Yex is and what you do.
Okay, so first of all, Yex is my stage name. And I wear many hats. And while people love to call me a poet, and I guess I have the natural prowess, I do not like referring to myself as a poet. I feel like a poet does not do artists such as yourself and I justice. Um, yourself, JaSUN, you were one of the first individuals who inspired me to start writing again after I put my pen down. And I would consider you a storyteller. So what I really do is I'm an advocate. Like that's the most overarching title that I could use for myself. And within that title, I am a birth doula, I am a death doula, I am an environmental educator. These things come first before the poetry. And then I guess I am also a poet. I have been writing since I was 9 years old. I've been published for the same amount of time. Um, so when individuals saw me come out or step out on the scene in Connecticut, this is the first that people saw me publicly, but this is not when I began writing 4 years ago. And I have been writing for over 2 decades now. And although writing is more so of a hobby than a passion or a career choice, I use poetry as a vehicle for my messages around social and environmental injustices. People tend to not like straightforward messages. It's difficult to be progressive and palatable, especially as a black woman. So I sometimes, it's easily digestible when you wrap your presentation up in a pretty package and deliver it to people like that. So that's how I get to the poetry.
Word. Speaking of which, how would you feel about setting it off and blessing us with a poem?
Okay, all right. I'll bless the mic real quick. Um, so okay. This is the first poem that I ever did publicly. I did this during JaSUN's feature at Poets Realm 4 years
Woo!
ago. Um,
I remember that.
yeah, yup. You had a dope set. I had actually seen you beforehand about a year prior at the Red Room Grill Cafe out in Meriden. You were featured there, and I hadn't been writing for about 8 years. I had writer's block, and I saw you, and I start writing right after that. So
Wow.
this piece is called God Body, and it's a mouthful. So bear with me, y'all. I don't believe in a God. However, I am not godless. I mean, if everything happens for a reason, how could I entertain the thought that God exists? You know, in a traditional sense, like a past, stiff, rigid tense. Synchronicity be the mistress. The more I explore, it begins to sound like he dropped his dress, dropped his S in suit per recognition. Ambiguous neuter noun definition, he is a derivative of she. This narrative is transitive. Look at how he booked, marks it in the name of machismo. The more that we grow, he begins to devolve. Demise is the desire that revolves. Acidic teardrops violently dissolve non soluble solutions. It is she who combats his pollution, seeking retribution for his mess after abandoning his vastness. Son, you too rotate on axis, and as is, your revolution is convoluted. You assume my lunar luminescence solely ad libs your song of night. Who the fuck do you think it is that nurtures your plight? I don't believe in a God. However, I am not godless. I mean, if everything happens for a reason, how could I entertain the thought that God exists? And if he does exist, he's a deadbeat, a mirage like the haze of a dead heat, raising vengeful hands and resentful children, zealots with daddy issues seeking validation, jealous siblings vying, singing inundated praises, sporadic miracles, prayers answered on occasion, the shameless strut of the midnight marauder, perpetrating to perpetuate nuts, impregnating the dead hour, neurotic, narcissistic, psychotic, and vindictive. Who is more restricted than Mother Nature with the world at her bosom, suckling her to sate our strife, depleting her resourceful life? She renews herself, recycled, coming full circle akin to mother with child, cunning like a woman scorned, tongue sharp, heart vow, mighty like the sword, hum lullaby volatile. She is right, raw, real. Reiterate dismay, alliterate shun, or the pundits beseeching her obliteration. The mercy of her sustenance may be a fate far worse than death, for the substance we ingest is derived of her distress, her distrust. Scarred and marred, disfigured, stretch marked, stretched thin like banshee howling, whipped by her winds, blown out waistline, equating her birth canal to a black hole in deep space, fracturing time, her titties hang with the wretched stench of still birthrights and aborted namesakes. Despite so, her bounce back game is crazy. She grants respite long before the bitterness of spite seeps down her throat, settling in her belly, gestating. The aftertaste reeks, threatening to choke, so she spits, regurgitating, a reverberation to rebirth a nation. The sound of her exhale is a sigh of relief. Damned, our inhale is a sign of reprieve. She is exhausted with our prolonged state of infancy. We still crawl, though she has taught us to walk. She is tired of carrying us. Bent hip, tilted spine, walk limp, talk slick, yet she exercises a patience divine, the mother of all mothers, the martyr of all matriarchs. This maternal deity's matrix plays tricks on the origins of infinity, concentrated dark matter moving swifter than the speed of light. She stays fly, the source of all life. I don't believe in a God, however, I am not godless. I mean, if everything happens for a reason, how can I entertain the thought that God exists? For come the morning when we wake, parched lips sip from the cup of water taint, eyes prostrate, hands elevate to skies we paint, poisoning her offspring and grow the forest rank. You can hear the disappointed cry of a mother faint between the thunderous booms and striking features of lightning, her contractual quakes, shifting faulty plates, hemorrhaging casualties when the surface of her abdomen is cracked open. The aftermath is frightening. The only thing immaculate about your conception is I dropped my ex. Child, why would you deny? I dropped my eggs to ease my loneliness. Bent like a rib, I did not come from your side. Do not attempt to straighten me, for if I break like waters, I'll send you back from whence you came. Implement, implantation, incepting your reality. The sole creator of souls, the vessel to the physical realm. My womb is Eden. On earth, hell, no escaping. Your labored return, unfavored reincarnation. Knowledge fed, eternal lactation. Lessons relearned until maturation. The blessing earned, nirvana. I go by many monikers, but you can call me mama. I don't believe in a God, however, I am not godless. I am God. They tried to condense me to goddess. Paradoxical, naivete is bliss. Align your paradigm. I pre-exist. Thank you.
That was a lot. I mean, the creativity, the insightfulness, the wordplay.
Thank
Um,
you.
that's one of the reasons why I started writing poetry. The fact that I could express myself. That you said you go by many monikers, but call you mama. Is
Yeah,
that
that was that was a mouthful. That was definitely an ode to the black woman and our plight and the level of resilience that we have to be able to exude in order to thrive and survive in this world.
word? Now, if you could just go a little deeper, what is the black woman's plight?
I would say that our plight is right aligned with the entire the entire black community and just our diaspora in general. But what it looks like for me is that our paradigm has been shifted, and what we know to be our natural balance and order of the universe has been inverted and perverted through colonization and the subsequent systemic oppression and the conditions which we live under. So what this looks like is that we now have generations of black women who have been falsely empowered to believe that they are and that they should be independent because they have had to do so much on their own. And the only reason that they have had to do so much on their own is not um fully in part the black man's for his absence or negligence, and that energy is misdirected, but rather because the black man has been emasculated, figuratively castrated and removed from our households. um so now we see this force level of strength, or I mean, not a forced level of strength, but an unnecessary level of strength that black women have to exude, because they're doing it by themselves, and they don't necessarily have to be doing it by themselves, but they feel like they have to do it by themselves. And what that does in turn is it literally shortens the lifespan and the value and the quality of life that we all live.
I feel you. I feel you. That was a lot, but it does boil down to like a lot. So much boils down to the family structure and who
Absolutely.
we are and how we need each other. I like the way that you tied that into like basically we need each other. Um, and,
Absolutely.
and, and on a real note, I know I've said it once, but I haven't said it to you. I'm getting married. I'm
Okay,
getting
okay.
married, and, and,
Congratulations.
and the man, just having someone there in your corner and being able to be there for someone, like I'm still learning and catching the benefits of how it's uplifting me to uplift her to uplift me and back
Mm-hmm.
and forth. And I think that's kind of what you were getting at. in a sense.
Absolutely. It's a symbiotic relationship. Absolutely.
But what about the hope? I mean, because there's some of us that are. I mean, you
What do you
know,
mean the hope?
the hope that I see, I see us lifting up. Sometimes person by person, family by family, but it is happening, and there are some positive relationships out
Mm-hmm.
there. That's what I mean by the hope.
You said the hope or the whole?
The hope.
The
Sorry.
hope. No, that's all
Yeah.
right. I just had to clarify. I mean, I really don't um I really don't ground myself in notions like hope. I think hope is kind of empty versus like do action, like taking action. So all I believe that we can do is be accountable for ourselves. And as a community member, as Afro Latina, as whatever, all of the things that I identify myself as, I try to be as accountable as possible. And what that looks like is, like you said, constantly uplifting the people that I'm in proximity of, and that's all I can do. That's all we can do. Instead of hoping, we just got to do it.
No doubt. No doubt. Speaking of which, two very memorable experiences I've had with you is one, I said, hey, Yex, we doing this free pancake breakfast every Saturday out here. And this and that. And you was like, word. And next thing you know, you came through and blessed like the whole hood with winter coats. How did that
Absolutely, absolutely. That was nice. I was very disheartened that I couldn't do more, come out more, because I know that y'all was out there every week. Um, but I had so much on my plate at that time. But it just felt nice to be able to. First of all, I'm a hill baby. Like the hill is my hood, so to be able to go back specifically to the hill and give back, it felt really nice. My mother did a lot of giving back, which is why definitely a huge part of why I am the way that I am. But we would often go do things downtown at the Green. We would do a lot of dinners, lunches, soups, coats, blankets, just like what y'all was doing over there on Congress. So it was just really nice, especially to see all of the brothers, all of y'all out there,
mm,
in the pillars of our community, the individuals that people say are not out there, not doing anything, and y'all are out there every week, out your own pocket, feeding the community. It was just a beautiful thing.
yeah, yeah. And I want to say big up to the Hill Free Pancake Breakfast because it's still going on.
Okay.
And they haven't missed a Saturday yet. I'm down in Bridgeport now. It's been a little difficult for me, but
Yeah.
I definitely want to get involved back again. Jo, Steve Cotton, James Pringle, my boy James Pringle, all of them
Yeah.
making it happen. Like I appreciate that, and I
Yeah.
appreciated you coming out.
Stop by one of these weekends with some more coats.
Yeah, yeah. I got to get back out there too. That was peace. The other experience I had with you was I called you up and it was like election day. I might have called you like the day before election day. And
Yeah.
me, you, and True Story went out
Oh
and
man,
we,
good day, man. We had a day, man. From the
woo!
morning to the night, that was a day. But it was really nice. You know what was nice to kind of, it wasn't much that we could do in the realm of empowering or encourage individuals to vote because we were there the day of, but we brought life into the polls. We filled that space up, that silent space up with some powerful words, and just be able to drive around the hood with True, and his voice
On the
yeah,
loudspeaker, yeah.
absolutely. He is a mess, but it was just a really good day, man. And then the alignment of us going to where was we at? We was at Lincoln Bassett when the news cruise was there,
Yep.
So to be able to have that moment captured in time like that, it was really nice.
Yeah, yeah. And for those that don't know exactly what we're talking about, we went around to every polling site in New Haven and did live poetry for the people while they were standing in line, just to give them a good vibe and encourage them and give them some positive messages, and so forth. And,
Word.
and, and it was a really great time, man. So, as a matter of fact, I remember I had just finished doing a poem and I was calling you up, and someone shouted from the crowd, they said, "Hey, Jason, is that your daughter?" And I was like, "Dang, I look that old," but you know what? I was like, "Nah, that's my little sister." But you know what?
No,
It's all good.
it's not that you look that old, it's that I look that young. That's all that is.
I was thinking that. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But we had a great time, and if I did have a daughter, I wouldn't be more prouder.
Oh, I appreciate that. you know,
Yeah.
um, as somebody who grew up in the position that a lot of people a reflection of what a lot of my communities look like is absentee parents, or is that as we grow in our environment, our circumstances, we take on a lot of surrogates, whether they mentors or OGs or whatever people like to call them. But one of my favorite phrases is that the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, and that the people that we meet in life and that we gravitate towards, our tribes, those people are our family, our chosen family. So I appreciate that.
Word, word. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's really dope. That's really dope that you say that. Because we are what we create. Um,
Absolutely.
you know, I had overheard a conversation with you and someone else about delivering birth.
Okay, yeah, I'm a birth
Could
doula.
you
Absolutely.
elaborate on that?
What about it?
What exactly is it again? A doula? Because I don't know
Okay,
about
yeah.
that.
So I'm a birth doula, and what we do is not invasive. So we don't have the scope of practice that a midwife or a doctor would have. And what we really do is we support mom and families during pregnancy, childbirth, and the period afterwards, the postpartum period. And what that support looks like is it looks largely like education, advocacy, and actual comfort measures. So we would educate families on all of their choices, because what happens is, due to our systemic oppression, due to our conditions and these constructs that we're forced to live within, Black women die 8 to 9 times more than any other ethnic group in this nation. Our country itself has some staggering maternal morbidity rates in comparison to developing countries. And this obstetric violence and this medical violence is really preventable.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
yep.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm just getting a little feedback. Could you speak up just a little bit more because th- you're giving up really good information, and they
Absolutely,
can't.
absolutely. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah. So
better.
what I was just okay. Yeah, what I was just saying was that we support moms during childbirth, during pregnancy, childbirth, and afterwards, and we support them largely through education, advocacy, and comfort measures. And it's of dire importance because Black women are dying at 8 to 9 times more than any other ethnic group in this nation. Black babies are dying 3 to 4 times more than any other ethnic group of infants in their first year of life. So what we do is basically the importance is, around raising awareness around obstetric violence, around individuals' choices. A lot of people don't even realize that they have choices. People have been conditioned to move within these constructs so much so that they're just going through the motions. They don't question anything. They don't question authority figures or structures, especially when they should be, because again, our lack of education, our lack of advocacy, of having a voice, is why individuals are dying unnecessarily. So that's what I do. Again, another part of being able to use my voice to help other people. That's the birth work.
Nice, nice, and I see why you don't just allow yourself to be only called a poet. Well,
Absolutely.
what 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 are some of the main motivations that have helped you develop into Yaps? Because I know, you know, everything just wasn't. I mean, you had to work to get to become who you are. What are some of your motivations?
Well, I was fortunate to be raised by a deeply spiritual mother who was in touch with her roots. And you know me personally, JaSUN, so you know what kind of like enigma and force that I am. And I've been like this since I swear, I've been like this since I was a toddler. I have been fierce. I have been assertive. I have been bold and speaking out and using my voice for as long as I can remember. And I remember at the age of 9 hearing a poem that my cousin wrote, and I was just inspired to start writing poetry myself. And I conceived my children at a very young age, and it grew me up very quickly. It kind of deterred my academic trajectory because I was very successful academically, and it just put me on another path. But I believe that this path was the path that I was supposed to be on. I think that had I gone a traditional route of school, I wouldn't be who I am as you know me now. In the fullness that I am, in the realm of advocacy, in the realm of community, um, because my need to advocate for myself, for my children, for my family member came up during those times. And
Yes,
that's pretty much it. What makes me is the same thing that makes everybody else. Our trials and tribulations, our shared experiences, we're more alike than we are different.
agree, agree. Really dope, really dope. With that, you think we can hear another poem from you?
Sure, sure. So, can you hear me well again? Just making sure before I start.
Yeah, yeah, you're better than you were.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, this piece is an open letter to my daughter. And, I'm not going to explain it much. I'm just going to get right into it. I read an article the other day about a black toddler named Darnell Gray that had gone missing, during which the local police department justified why he wasn't worthy of an Amber Alert. This is an open letter to my daughter. Dear Syra, I should have named you Amber just in case. I should have named you Amber because black children always fit the description but never the criteria. God forbid you disappear. Maybe they'd be as quick to put your face on the back of chocolate milk cars as they are when they place you in handcuffs, or in cop cars, or in jail cells, or in graveyards, or in boxes with check marks that they use to marginalize stained black ink on white paper with no drawn lines. I should have named you Amber because a ghetto sounding name could be the link between what distincts one as missing versus a runaway. White children go missing, slaves run away, black boys can't whistle, white girls tell white lies. Jim Crow got your tongue while George Stinney fries. I should have named you Amber so that when you speak, you don't have to repeat yourself. Sorry to bother. It's Syra, not Cyrus. Sorry to bother. It's Sarji, not Sarah. Spirit of forefathers. It was Kunta, never Toby. Syra. Psy, like science, like the only black that matters to them, the one in outer space. Psy, like science, if only they'd realize the carbon copied galaxy freckled upon your face. Ra, like sun god. See, I should have named you Amber, but I named you Syra instead because I knew your life begin where namesake ends. And if I would have named you Amber, they would have renamed you Medusa. They dread little black girls with magical powers, like Latasha Harlins and Ayana Jones and India Kager and Nia Wilson and Sam Parks. Oh, children, so you should have all been named Amber because they're white physicians without borders or boundaries or morals or humanity, butchering black names and black babies. Melanin goes for 350 a gram. Do it for the gram. I ain't gonna do it. Don't do it. It's sham. You've been bamboozled. Worth more dead than alive. Hoodwinked. I should have named you Amber so that when you interview for positions, you don't feel a need to straighten out the kinks. And when you show up for work, you can really arrive because shrinking yourself to fit European beauty standards could kill you spiritually inside. Maybe I shouldn't have named you Amber. Maybe I should have named you A, B, C, D, E so the entire world knows you come first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and not just a fraction of that. And you would have to unscrew caps on fifths of Hennessy to look for fractured fragments of yourself because your biggest riff with life is say making fun of game. Shoot, even I can pronounce it. Absidy, hand shoot, the caucasity of you to judge by their names. I should have known, but you are much precious than a stone. That was it.
Woo! Woo! Fire! Mm, 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 mm.
I
Wow.
appreciate
You said white kids go missing and black kids run away.
slaves
Wow.
run away. Black, white children go missing and slaves run away.
Wow. Wow. That was deep on so many levels. And I appreciate your passion. You know, your daughter is truly blessed to have a mother like you because how much you care and how much you're gonna be there is all in that poem. You know, so I thank you for
Word.
that. Yeah, you know,
Thank you.
I wrote, I don't know why the topic of family is coming to me so much with you, like during this interview, like maybe we are supposed to be related some type of way or something, but I had wrote this well I co-wrote a play spoken wordical
Oh,
and I'm sorry.
okay.
Okay, I think we lost you for a moment.
You said you co-wrote a poem.
A play, a spoken word play, and we rewrote the Wizard of Oz. I mean the Wiz, and gave an updated version. But kind of the key to it was the Wiz can't do nothing for you, but it's all about your family, you know,
Okay.
and the essentials and basics that you get at home, and that's what you reminded me of. You seem like a very essential um mother
Appreciate it.
to this world,
They
and maybe that's because I know you and I do know your demeanor and how tough you are and all that. But yeah, I know.
They put
Yeah,
that's how a mother is though. A mother is not it's not just soft love and nurturing, it's a firm hand too. And I often tell people of that. That when I give out love, I try to give out my love in a godly way. And God is not just merciful. God is swift and firm also. And in New Haven, they affectionately call me the hood mama. So I definitely get that a lot.
yeah. Personified. And hey, that's a beautiful thing. We all go into our roles. We all get our roles. We are who we are. You know, we
Absolutely.
are we are who we are. Um, so you also have something coming up today at 7 o'clock. Is that true?
I do. At 7 o'clock, I have a podcast interview. I was interviewed by Abe Alfonso McGriff. I'll be on my Facebook page. And he's doing a series called I believe it's called Women Empowered or Empowered Women series. Um, and today I will specifically be talking about trauma and triggers, um, restoration and reclamation, how we heal the adult and inner child. Um,
Could you
yeah.
just repeat that one more time? I think we're having some static. You'll be talking about what?
Basically trauma and triggers and how to heal the adult by healing the inner child.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm still trying to heal my inner child. I can't lie.
Yeah, it's the um process. Just evolution is a constant process. But we have a lot of individuals walking around out here that think that they're grown up because of their age and not because of their spiritual or their emotional or their mental maturity. And a lot of that comes from the trauma that individuals have endured during their childhood, which they need to resolve before they move forward.
Mm. Yeah, I know that's very true. When I was like, when I was 15, I thought I was a grown man just because I
Yeah.
was doing some grown man things, and I was actually doing some things that even grown men shouldn't be doing. But
I'm sure.
you know, and you couldn't tell me nothing, and then when I got to be 25, I started realizing, wow, things might be a little different, but you know what? I'm still riding this wave. And then when I got to be 30, I'm like, oh, it's a lot different. Then when I
Yeah.
got to be 35, it was like, yo, I wish I could go back.
Yeah.
And by the time I was 40, I realized that there is no going back, and you gotta, play the hand that's dealt to you.
Well, um, the in that, and probably what something I'll make sure to make mention of later. And I'm not trying to too left with it, but the brain essentially is a machine, and we have the ability that something that I do with the brain and the healing of the child is going back, and we're able because the past, the present, and the future coexist all at the same time. People memory bank to about things that have happened in the past. That's you traveling mentally to the past. And when people think and assert to the future, that's traveling and thinking mentally into the future. There's a way uh go backwards and to go to those trauma and work on undoing them, doing them.
Yes.
Yes.
I know there's a huge irony in this, but I would just like to have you go back and say that one more time because it was breaking up so much. I was catching what you were saying, but I was having to
Uh,
piece it together.
it was breaking up. I was getting a phone call at the same time and I'm on my own. So my apologies. You hear me well right now?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, I was just getting an incoming call. So basically, what I was saying is that without trying to get too extreme with it, the brain essentially is a time machine. And when people sit in spaces where they think about the past, we have to think about how to do things the right way. And a lot of us haven't been taught how to do things the right way. So we have to unlearn what we have been taught and we have to relearn how to do things the right way. So going into the past, most people, when they think about the past, they dwell and they grieve and they're sorrowful and they're full of shame and guilt and remorse versus being able to go back and actually undo some of the trauma that happened to us and reshape what that looks like so that it can help us heal in the future.
Amen. For real. Yeah, that was pretty deep, and that's why I had to ask you just to go back and give us that one more time.
Mm.
Um, yeah, yeah. I'm still, it's funny. The more healed I get from my past trauma, the more I realize how traumatized I actually am.
It's
I
like that.
want to say was, but I'll say actually am because you know it's like an ongoing battle, man. But that's the beauty of every day that we get a chance to wake up and we get a chance to realize and recognize and kind of
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I got a couple young ones that I would just like to choke the trauma out of them if I could, but I might be putting some more trauma into them.
Yeah, that's not
So
how that works.
no, that's not how it works. But I'm just saying that because it pains me. All right,
I
to see it when a person won't listen. Have you ever reached out and
not
tried
that
to
they
talk? Yeah.
listen. We have to understand that the voice trauma is stronger than our voice, right? Because the trauma was real. You know, when we tell somebody that they can be in their circumstances, we have to show and prove that because the ugly has shown and proved itself. You know, they know that to be true. They don't know the
Yes. Yes.
I'm sorry. I keep getting phone.
It, all right. But I'm catching what you're saying, and I'm about to start calling you Mama Yex from now on. But I hope everybody else is catching what you're saying because that's where it's really important at.
It's really important for us to be able to um fix or to break a lot of generational curses that have been placed on us with our next generation. And it's difficult for people to do this. Trauma is a cycle. Is a cycle. We say hurt people, and it's because a lot don't know any better than what they have experienced. Um, but when people make the choices to break those, and breaking generational traumas doesn't just look like wild spiritual work. Sometimes it looks like not your kids because eating. It looks like not eating a diet of crap because you know that um we have diabetes, high blood pressure, or high cholesterol in our family. Give a better.
you really broke up on that. But I know you were talking about how things could be passed down and how I know trauma could be passed down. And I just want to speak to that really quick because it's incredible. We don't realize how much we pass this stuff down. My father went to jail when I was one. I went to jail when my firstborn son turned one. You know,
Okay.
and I thought about that. And then like you know, and then there's this fight that like I've had with my son where like you know it's like he so much doesn't want to become me in certain ways, but then he does. Like I had a carpet cleaning business going, and it was going pretty successful, and I
I
needed
remember.
him. I needed him, and I was like, I want you. I got a job. I could pay you so much a week. Let's do this. He's like, Dad, I got to pursue my own path. I
That's
can't
right.
really, you know. And then I don't have the business anymore. And now he wants me to help him start a carpet cleaning business.
It's like that. We have to fall face sometimes and learn. It's like that.
Yeah, yeah, you know. And I came up with a thing like, you know what? I realized that I had some bad situations I was put into. You spoke about a runaway in your poems, and I ran away when I was 13 and didn't come back, and and that was rough for me. But what I realized as I got older, there's so much truth in the fact that you have to play the hand that you're dealt.
We do, and a lot of that looks like being accountable for your life and your circumstances, not pointing the fingers at other people, not blaming other people for that position that you're in, but just doing the work to come out of it.
Yeah. Boy, yes, I tell you, I hope everybody's out there is catching it. You really, passing on some jewels and can heal some folks, Mama Yex. And and you younger than me. I'm about to start calling you Mama. But
I
but
appreciate.
it's all good because we birth what we birth.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know, we birth what we birth. You know, and I feel honored and blessed that I've influenced you. Uh, and I want to kind of get back to the art too. But like, even when we were out there doing the poetry on the election thing, you was getting a lot of shine, and I was sitting back and I was like, okay, I was like, go ahead, and it made me feel good, you know,
It should, as it should.
absolutely. So I just wanted you to maybe talk about some of the upcoming projects and things you're working on.
Okay, so right now I am in the process of revitalizing my business to include my deaf doula services, and I, aside from the podcast interview today with Abe, I am going to be doing um the podcast interview about 2 weeks with Empress Ayana Nadir. I'm not sure if you're familiar. I'm gonna be sharing that. Absolutely, it's gonna be me, D Collins, and Empress Ayana Nadir.
Get
Um,
out of here!
absolutely. So we're gonna
That's
just
gonna
be
be
talking
dope.
about. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. We're gonna be talking about difficult it is to be progressive and palatable as sisters. And I'm also going to be doing a podcast with Marie Griffith Dunn, who is a motivational speaker. She supports women and be six-figure earners. And what I'm going to be talking about specifically is life arrangements and the doula work that I do, and why it's for us people there were fear order, and to be forward thinking about that. And April, I am going to be teaching creative writing class at Trinity College for the International Hip Hop Festival. I'm also in the works of my own podcast. So once I get that up and running, I'll definitely share that with everyone. That's pretty much it for right now. That's a lot.
Word, word. I think y'all should have a man up there on that panel with you, Ayana, and D. Collins. Is there any way I could
We,
squeeze in there?
we should, and I'm gonna say this. We only got 8 minutes left, but I came I came unprepared. My phone is on 1%, so it's probably is my battery gonna die on me any second now.
All right, all right. So we should definitely consider us blessed to have you. The time that we have had you. You think you could hit us with another poem, and
We
if it
gonna see
cuts out,
what y'all take me, and I'm gonna start. And if I cut off, we gonna call that a form of artistic expression. And
exactly,
I
exactly.
appreciate you for having me up here. This
I
piece
love
is
you, Yex.
I love you too. This piece is called Can You Taste It? What if I told you Jesus showed up on my doorstep in a pair of cars and a Kangol to converse about the earth being mangled? He listened to me spout over cups of tea as I untangled his locks, tongue tied in knots. I called him Chris in lieu of Christ, asked to cross my T before they dotted his I, skewed images and accounts faked, replaced with Judas. No one would believe it was he who was really skewered to the stake. Isa was never crucified. I washed his feet as he turned water to wine and consoled me as I whined about the state of our feeble-minded Negroes who lost more than just their deeds to 40 acres and a mule, surrendering our future to the prison pipeline every time we abandon our youth in these whitewashed schools. Hip-hop is our culture, and they stole that too. So I sit Indian style with indigenous shamans and soothsayers who have been deemed winos and fools, removing their teeth, making room for gems dropped every time they speak. I am their diamond in the rough, uncut, impossible to be thrown under the bus. It is only 200 or so years old. My soul is ancient. I finally got the guts to post up on the corner, turning it into a pulpit, yelling, "Ain't shit sweet coming from where I'm from. Not even sugar, honey, iced tea. They've made sustenance a drug. Like on my block, Cinderellas who can't afford glass slippers smoke out of glass pipes instead, where scorned mothers and lovers teach men how to make a park bench where the black Madonna child are referred to as baby mama and bastard. Reality is vast backwards. Politicians posing as puppets, masterminds, racists use our cities as their own personal coloring books, drawing outside of lines, as if our streets aren't already rivers running red, something like Venice. Blood flows out of exit wounds that never heal from young bulls marked like veal as soon as they exit through them. Who's really pulling the strings? I've watched angels fall with wings becoming marionette dolls as demons smoke their dust. Praying monetary illusions in God we trust. That loaded lady holds an unbalanced scale. She is neither fear nor doubt. In my hood, pigs don't fly, they walk upright. Team Dave for simply being as quiet bystanders watch like a play on Broadway. I've seen this act one, two, many times. Violators of ghetto later to be exonerated by a jury of their peers. Those who claim neutrality in the face of injustice have chosen the side of the oppressor. Privileged transgressors, all they see is green. Warn my brothers not to accept the fake peace offering. One level before being choked or chopped on the block, undertaking a guillotine. Rats who aren't afraid to die, tapping wires, lies told through grapevines. Red and blue make purple. Double-headed snakes play on lines. So we pour our libations, ancestors in commemoration. Sisters don't choose gangsters because they prefer bad boys. Rather, they purge warriors. It's all a ploy. Kids walk around with balled fists because the streets are hot. Their hearts are cold. Stomachs empty. Those who live to eat will become carnivorous eventually.
Mm, mm. I think we lost her, y'all, but definitely blessed to have had her. I was a fiend before I became a teen. I melted microphones and left them cold as ice creams. Music orientated, so when hip hop was originated, they bit it like pieces of puzzles. Complicated. Little Rakim quote. Just want to send a shout out to Yax. We had an awesome time. I hope you guys caught a message, man. There was a lot in it, man. And a lot of it was garbled. So please excuse the reception on her part. But with that, I'm gonna say we had a lovely show. Tune in next week. We'll have better reception and we'll have a better time. Peace.